we are going to go to number 19, and that is our friends at Fortnight Collective in Boulder. Hello again, everybody, and we are celebrating this stuff. Hello, how's that? Where's what was it? Mocha?
Mocha's here.
Come here. Oh, look at that face. I know. Look at that dog's face.
Love it.
This is about as iconic as it gets, right? I mean, this brand. So Fortnite folks, talk a little bit about the brief, and tell us a little bit about the work.
Sure. Hello, Devin Ryder, president here at Fortnite.
If it tastes too good.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Bragg. So it's this. Bragg is 112, maybe 113 years old this year. It's probably something that is in 90% of everybody's pantry across the U.S. Half the people don't know how to use it. The other half use it religiously.
Right.
And what's interesting about this brand, the history of it, really quirky. Paul and Patricia Bragg were the founders, and they were like best friends with Jack LaLanne. They were like the original hippies. They were the first people to really come out with like natural wellness. They were like 30 years ahead of their time. They were seen as like freaks and introverts, and then today they're glorified as like brand ambassadors of wellness. Most people know Bragg by the actual apple cider vinegar, the liquid, and it's this weird elixir, right? It's good for your gut, it's good for brain health, but you can wash your cat with it as well. It's really bizarre on how you can utilize it. And the brief here was, so for many years, Bragg just really had their liquid. They launched these supplements like most brands are doing, packing all the efficacy into what they do on the liquid side into the capsules. What was interesting about this is about 2 or 3 years ago, a brand called Goli made its way into the stratosphere. And Goli are like apple cider vinegar gummies from another brand. They're packed with sugar. They taste like candy. You can eat an entire bag and there's no efficacy.
Right.
So 3 of our supplements equates to 30 gummies that you would eat. So we tried to just put this out there. At the time, Goli was sort of the lead horse when it came to more interesting and modern supplements. And what we wanted to do is basically say, without naming names, that gummies are basically candy. And if you want something that actually works, lean into Bragg's supplements.
All right, so let's take a look at a little bit of the work here.
If it tastes too good to be true, it probably is. That's why we made capsules, not gummies. Bragg apple cider vinegar supplements are the only ACV supplement with 750 milligrams of acetic acid per serving. It's not weird if it works.
I like that you just said it's not weird if it works.
Yeah, so our original brief for this, like when we first pitched this business 3 years ago, the insight we found was that Bragg is the longest running experimental brand that's out there. I mean, they've been doing this 112 years, and we continue to discover new ways to make the brand interesting. And just a shout out to the production company, which was Warm and Fuzzy, who we worked with, that brought this to life, and it did a really good job.
Nice.
Let's take a look at this other one right here.
The strength of 3 of these equals 30 of those. The only ACV supplement with 750 milligrams of acetic acid per serving.
All right. Yeah, no, that's what you're supposed to. Daniel, your thoughts? Daniel's frozen. Is Daniel frozen?
Yep.
Kyle, your thoughts?
I know I've known this brand for years, and I use I use their apple cider vinegar, and I love how the design it stays really, really true to what the original is. They've the bold colors, the yellow, the red, the fact that it's right up there. It really sticks true to what the brand is all about, and I think the animation goes right in line with that. Just leading through with those colors. I love it. I think it's great. Very simple, but very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say something. Sorry, hopefully I didn't freeze, but I was going to say something very similar. What I love about this is it's not a rebrand, it's not a refresh, it's not leading into any of those buzzwords. It's actually taking what's always just been distinctive about Bragg and just making it even more interesting and distinctive. And I think sometimes in design there can be an urge to sort of want to change things or mix them up or remix them, and I just love that this feels so fresh and so modern, and yet it's sort of essentially unchanged, and that is the beauty of it. So
what I will say is
one
one of the most underrated aspects of anything, but especially design, is restraint. Right? It could have been very easy. And listen, I've known Devin for a minute, so you know he was probably going to do some sort of John Bon Jovi thing. That was probably his idea. And then, you know, he was probably going to do some Jersey stuff. And then, you know, and then look, I'm not sure, you know, we'd be talking about something else. But I mean, restraint really does matter, but you're absolutely right, Daniel. This was to be able to do a very, very, very high level iteration, not easy to pull off because you can sometimes get away from the anchor of the brand. And to the Fortnite people, understanding that, you know, you've talked about this, but understanding the importance and really the gravity of this brand. It's really well known, and it seems to me that this is just going to be such a nice anchor to remind people about, to your point, Devin, where you're saying like people have this in their cabinets, but they forget. So I think it's a great reminder.
And one other point I would say, and thanks for the accolades. This was one instance. Why would we want to make the logo bigger? Like that's the thing a client asks all the time. This is one where we were loud and proud. Like there was something iconic about the look and the feel, and we've all sort of seen it, but we don't know where. And this was a brand that we said, let's just, you know, let's put a flag in the ground and be really proud about what we're about.
Yeah, and I think that there's so much more there's so much more competition on the shelf now, and so this is a good time for this brand to reintroduce itself.
Yep.
So
right on.
Yeah. All right. Give the dogs a big hug and a kiss. By the way, we are going to have Indie Agency Pet of the Year. So that entry is coming up very soon. We will have a judge's choice and we will have a people's choice. So I'm just telling you all to prepare for this. Okay. All right. Have fun in Boulder. Thank you so much for your support. Congratulations. You guys are awesome. We love you.